Hi guys, we're going to continue solving inequalities, and here are the notes for today's lesson. So this is going to help you solve the problems that you're going to do with your group and then the problems that you're going to have for independent practice and your homework. Yesterday we learned about the golden rule of inequalities, and we learned that we have to switch it, we have to flip our inequality whenever we multiply or divide by a negative number. So that's the note that I want to put here. Flip your inequality when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Now, to solve an inequality, we're going to basically follow the steps that we did for equations. We're going to do the don't call me after midnight. So we're basically going to do distributive property first. Then we will combine like terms on each side of the inequality symbol. Okay, so if you have like one big inequality, you will check on the left side if you can combine like terms. Then you will move yourself over to the right side and see who you can combine over here. So you'll combine like terms on the right side as well. Then we'll move our letters. And just to keep it consistent, I think we said we're going to move letters left. L for left. You can move them to either side, but remember that for inequalities, we always want to start with the letter because that's how we read inequalities. So it'd be best if we just move letters left. So since we're moving letters left, we will add or subtract to move numbers to the right. And then finally, multiply or divide to isolate the variable. And then on this step right here, this is where you're going to have to ask yourself, does my sign flip? So there's two major questions you have to ask yourself. Number one, does my sign flip? And question number two, since we're graphing, you have to ask yourself, am I going to use an open or closed circle? So don't forget, open circles, those are the circles that are not shaded, and we use those for inequalities like less than, greater than, or not equal to, because we don't want to include the number. That number mentioned is not going to be one of our solutions. And then the closed circle, it is shaded because actually that number will be part of the solution, so we'll use it for the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or your equal sign. So let's solve this example. Follow along, write all the notes. This is going to get folded like a little booklet and glued on the next page of your spiral. So make your little line through your inequality. Is there distributive property? No. Can I combine the 5 and the negative 3x on the left? No, because 5 doesn't have an x. Same thing over here, 13 and x are not like terms, so I can't combine anybody there. So I'm going to go to step number 3, which says move letters left. So I'm going to do minus x to both sides. That cancels. I'm going to have 5, negative 3 and another negative 1 make negative 4, less than or equal to 13. Now move numbers to the right, so we're going to have to subtract because this is positive, so we do the opposite. Subtract 5 from both sides. I'm left with negative 4x is less than or equal to 13 minus 5. It's 8. Positive, because we got more positives than negatives. And then finally, I am going to divide. And I'm dividing by a negative number, so golden rule. This cancels. I have my x, but I'm going to have to flip my sign. And 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. So down here, you don't have to put all the increments, just put the negative 2. What kind of circle am I going to use? Well, this symbol is the closed circle. and I'm gonna shade to the right because it says x is greater than, so all the possible answers have to be greater than -2. Now, a good checking method is with your calculator, so I am going to show you the shortcut for this. Now, this is a shortcut that is going to be used as a checking method only. Checking method, okay? So on the right side, I actually put the instructions there. Let me see, let me move this so you can see it. Right here. So I already know these by memory, so I'm just gonna kind of show you what you have to do, okay? So whenever you're dealing with inequalities that just have one kind of letter, X's, Y's, M's, R's, T's, whatever, but it's just one type of letter, to check your answer, you are gonna go to Y equals. You are going to plug in the inequality exactly as it was. So the left side, let me turn it. Well, actually I can see it right here, I remember it. The left side of our inequality was 5 minus 3x. So I'm going to type this in, okay? 5 minus 3x. Then I need to get the inequality symbol. So I'm going to go to second math. And I'm going to pick the inequality symbol that my original problem had, which was number 6, the less than or equal to. And I'm going to type in the right side exactly as it is, 13 plus x. Then remember, we are graphing these on the number line. So I'm going to press graph. Don't worry about how the line's appearing. Just like let it appear first, okay? Here's how you read this. You go to this beginning point of your line. What number is that? -1, -2, right? So there's your number. Where's the rest of the line? Well, it went this way. The rest of the line, I don't have any line on the left. The rest of my line is over here on the right. So notice how I did the arrow there. That's going to be my symbol. And then I put my letter. So remember, I always start with the letter. So letter, symbol, then the number. And then you just have to go check. Did your original problem have the little equal to sign? And yes, it did. So x is greater than or equal to -2. That's what we're reading from the calculator. Was that the answer we got? Yes, it was. Now, remember, we had to remember over here when we solved it by hand to flip the sign. Calculator kind of just does it for us. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you're unsure, just plug it in so that you can check if you got your sign correct.